Welcome back, everyone, to the league. It's another fantastic Wednesday night and a bit of a shorter one. Only 2 series today. For context, Fury did have to forfeit for tonight, but they'll be back next week, I'm sure. Jim, you know, it's been a few weeks since you've been on here, we start at the start of the season. We talked about how this is about developing the players, the teams for the region. How are you feeling like that's panning out at the moment?
I think it's definitely benefiting the teams. Obviously, right now too, they've had a lot more to play for as well. When you formed the league, it was sort of, I guess, a barren outlook for them in terms of short-term competitions. But since then, the calendar's filled up a little bit, so we're getting to see a lot of these teams very regularly play against each other, and I think that only bodes well for them. We're seeing a lot of improvement. We're also seeing how teams ebb and they flow between these competitions, whether or not they can back things up on a weeknight and play to the same level that we see them play on the weekend. So I think overall it's having the desired effect, and it's developing a lot of these individual players and teams. I mean, I dare say without this league as well, you wouldn't have seen players like Caveman Ben from Mind Freak really having a tear on the weekend. So I think definitely serving the purpose intended.
Yeah, it should continue on in that regard. We do have, I guess, probably the team that's grown the most over the course of this competition and kind of the competitions that we've had around OCE recently. Canberra Havoc, they are actually probably a team that could cause an upset here of one of the top 3 teams in OCE in terms of Ground Zero. But Ground Zero as well. They've grown so massively. They've been really on the uptrend throughout the entire competition, an entire season, where they started off having a bit of a rough patch, but won the third regional event, came second in the major, have put themselves very close to the top of that leaderboard for RLCS, and we'll be looking to continue that on here, as they'll definitely, I think when it comes to any team against Canberra Havoc, you never want to lose to the likes of Walcott, because he'll come out with the trash talk. He's there. He's one of the players who'll be there demoing. You don't want to lose to Ladakh either, because people make fun of him a bit. If you make fun of someone, then you definitely don't want to lose to them. But we are going to have to find out how that goes as we kick off against Canberra Havoc versus Ground Zero.
Yeah, we'll find out who gets their just desserts as well, because we know justice. It is served often quickly and can strike also at any moment, though. So let's just see whether or not some of that trash talking can be A, backed up, or B, will it be regretted by these two teams. As we said, the player in question there, Walcott, he loves to just let and remind people that their trash talking has gone unfounded, and rightfully so. But I think Ground Zero, definitely tough opposition as well. A team that really has gone from strength to strength recently. Probably want to see themselves continue that success, that upward trend, take that number 1 spot in the region. They're sort of knocking on the door, aren't they? And Amphis as well has been a great addition to this team of Express and Jules. Some very experienced players in their own right.
Yeah, I mean, Express, I've been really impressed with him this season. You always have question marks about him in his past, maybe his mechanics, but question marks right now in the chat for Canberra Havoc. I'm not too sure why this one goes the full distance. It's more just a spacing issue between Ladakh and Spy Doge, caught in a very similar position, and Amphis just getting a bit of a surprise amount of power.
Yeah, I don't think he expected to be able to dribble that far uncontested. To be fair, it sort of crept up on him as well, as Walcott doesn't quite find the power on it that he needed to put that shot on. But either way, Ground Zero are able to deal with it and just release themselves out now via Jules. So need to be careful though, because Amphis is always lurking and he finds his second.
It's always dangerous when Amphis moves up pitch like this, and Ladakh, you cannot do that. He doesn't know that Amphis is there, but that is not the touch to make when he's lurking in the wings. That is a early 2-goal lead for Ground Zero, and dangerous as well, because Amphis, it looks like he's coming in with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, he's had the ideal start to this match, and that's not the greatest thing to do, is give huge confidence to a promising youngster like Amphis early on in the matchup. If you want to have every intention of taking this. As here we go, Spidosh, chance there, blocked by Express. Jules is able to guide that away slightly, but need to be careful because that is a great pass coming through. Didn't find the connection though.
Yeah, unfortunate Ladakh. I mean, he's been going through a lot of confidence issues of late in terms of his mechanics, and you know, it only compounds when you miss shots like that. And Walcott has been talking a lot about how he wants to play a lot more demo style, and I really think the Canberra Havoc look the best when they are going for that. Not just because, you know, it opens up the net and it causes issues to defenses, but also because I think it gets under people's skins, especially when Walcott and Ladakh are the ones going for it. You know, there's something about those two that just triggers people, triggers their opponents when they're going for these demos. They do it in ranked as well. And we're starting to see them a lot more right now than we were earlier on in this game. But for Canberra Havoc, they would have wanted to have a much more explosive start.
Well, that's right. There's nothing worse than being demoed, is there, as a player, because you're completely powerless.
I guess losing your hair, but, you know, close second.
In game. Let's keep it in game, okay?
That's fair.
You can always gain
put on a
advantage.
top up.
Exactly. You can always wear the top up. Precisely. There's always something to fix that. But being demoed, you're completely powerless in a situation. To even help your teammates, you got to wait for that timer to expire before you're back on the pitch. So, yeah, definitely gets under a lot of players' skin. I know that it's certainly been used in that manner to play against certain opposition too. So, I mean, you need only look back at CJ's play style against some of the top teams not that long ago. His intention was to play that demo style. Certainly a very good player at it too.
It's become a lot more meta these days, and actually Canberra Havoc could take advantage of that. I'd say the Oceanic meta always a season or two behind another region, and you know, last season and the season before was certainly the NA demo meta, and somewhat similar in EU, maybe not to the same extent. Now is their time, but a minute left to go, and Canberra Havoc, they've had a couple of opportunities, certainly missed, but nothing truly amazing in terms of creating their own chances. Ladakh probably still very upset that he missed that one earlier, but chance here. They need this goal. 40 seconds left. Ladakh gets pumped out of the way, though with Spidosh getting that demo, it could work. Express playing it quite intelligently.
Yeah, the problem was nobody followed it up. Nobody followed that demo up. It was great. It opened up the defense nicely, but you're right. They haven't had any big clear-cut chances.
Emphasis saved that, yeah.
I was going to say, I don't think that's the right goal you're saving it from, but Jules...
When it comes to Amphis, right, every goal has to be his. If it's coming in from someone else, he's going to try and steal it. And so
hat trick or bust.
Yeah. He's got the first two. They're going to be pretty happy overall, Ground Zero, with how they've played this one out as well. Spidosh could have one here. Ladakh as well. One end to the other, but far too little too late.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think Ground Zero, really, aside from Express, he was the only one interested in trying to prevent this. So they already know they'd taken the match, but keeping a clean sheet is just something a little bit extra for the confidence, no doubt. At least keeping your opposition's confidence in check too. So for Canberra Havoc, not the ideal start, but maybe they can take some confidence from that goal.
Yeah, I think it was kind of a nice counterattack. Maybe a bit of an indicator on how they'd be able to take down Ground Zero. Maybe the counterattacks will be the ploy that they end up using to get the win, but it's still going to be quite difficult. Ground Zero not looking too shabby themselves. And, you know, when it comes to these guys, when it comes to Ground Zero, I feel like if they want to, like, Express has started to become very consistent the last few weeks. Amphis is obviously going to be Amphis, play very aggressively, and you know, he can have huge performances himself. So for me, it comes to this question of Jules. Does he step up to the mark? Is he having a big showing? Because if he does, they actually kind of become close to unbeatable.
All right, he's the power piece in this trio.
Yeah, he's the final piece of the puzzle, I'd say. You know, when he locks in, they look 5 times better than when it's kind of standard regulation play, where Express and Amphis are working very well together, but it hasn't panned out just there. Jules still attempting to make some plays. But on the same note, Jules doesn't want to have as much impact as he used to have on teams. He's playing it a bit more chill, a bit more laid back, and more as that second and third man role.
That being said, though, if he's presented with a chance like that, he's going to take it every day of the week. So just following up on the good work. Opportunity there to beat out Leduc, place that one nicely into the top left corner of the net. So ground zero again off to nice start, getting themselves that 1 goal buffer early. But from Canberra Havoc's perspective, they need to make sure that they are very clinical. They only got one clear-cut chance in the last game in, I guess, regulation, because the 0-second goal to me doesn't really count as a clear-cut chance. But they didn't get the opportunity to attack on net the way they would have liked to as well. And against ground zero, just to limit the opportunities that they got, I'm sure they're taking confidence from that into this match. As we see Amphis again, he's just riding high. The individual play from him, he's going for flip reset after flip reset if he wants. And he's just got the time to do so as well. So they're not really challenging him a lot. Jules shoots wide, but that is helped into the back of the net.
Dark, why is it always Dark every single time you see him in this situation? It ends up being an amazing own goal. And he hasn't played the worst ever in this match.
No.
But every single time he's been near the ball or there's been a goal score, it kind of just continues to look really, really bad for Leduc. And, we talked about his confidence earlier. It's probably at an all-time low.
Yeah, look, you really need to put yourself past those moments, though. Water off Leduc's back, per se. But, that is just... Well, that's one way to get yourself back into it. As we said, a pinch can turn into a punch, so... That was a good challenge from deep in the midfield. Managed to get the angle perfect, so... They narrow that lead somewhat for ground zero.
Kind of leads into, where the counterattacks are opened up. Express was pushing forward, expecting that the 50 would happen. Though Amphis right now making the play. One end to the other. Can he get it? No, that would have been next level. Express couldn't finish it either, but it has used a reasonable amount of boost for the defense. So Canberra Havoc, and look at the lean from Walcott. He was so off on his angle. An attempted own goal from Amphis there. It does get snuck past Jules and starting to get a bit worrying. Maybe not even for one team, but for both teams. Another massive lean for Walcott. And it's almost a goal. What is going on? I thought that was no chance of being a goal the way that first aerial went. And then it's just a dunk 50 off the wall. This game has become a thoroughfare of idiocy.
Do you ever just get the feeling that there's certain games you're never meant to win? I feel like this might be one of them for Canberra Havoc because they couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. They've owned goal. Here we go. Kick-off goal. Is there anything else we need to check off the bingo list here, Yummy?
I don't know. That was literally Jules can't flip, right? Like, what's going on? He just couldn't flip off the kickoff. He messed it up completely, which means there's no one there on the kickoff. Before that, we see an own goal, an epic own goal. We see two aerials from Walcott in a row where his line up to the ball was so bad that he had to use 60 boost just to, lean over and try and get any kind of contact with it. I hyped up this series, right? I was like, Canberra Havoc, they're in a good shot. They're getting better and better. Same with ground zero. What was I saying? Why am I even an analyst at this point?
Well, everybody loves proving the analysts wrong. You're the ones that put your necks on the line with the predictions. Everybody else just says that they have the answers. But I'll tell you what, Amphis looking to the roof to put that one in the back of the net. Spido's able to push it away ever so nicely. As Leduc and Spido's trying to combine for something here, but it is just swiftly batted away. Jules does not have the boost to get on the end of that pass, and this is a sacrifice there, as that ball is just seemingly going end to end here. What are we doing at the moment? We are just playing Forcey backs.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think, but Spy Doge almost gets the double off the roof. They're trying their best at the moment, and it just feels like. Right, first, it just feels like for me, when it comes to Canberra Havoc, they've all got ideas on what they need to change, how they need to adapt to. If that was it, I don't know what I would have done. I pretty much would have uninstalled Rocket League because it was such a crazy pinch. But yeah, for me, it looks like Canberra Havoc are kind of all on different pages on what they need to do to win at this point in time, what they need to change up to take down Ground Zero. So I feel like if they just get together and actually chat and get on the same page here for the next game, they'll at least have a chance to kind of swing things back in their favour before it's too late.
Yeah, you're right. They're definitely on different planes right now. Well, he's going to get squeezed in. Hang on. This one's not dead. As Spidoge finds the equaliser, but it definitely feels as though they're reading the Choose Your Own Adventure book cover to cover instead of taking the preferred method.
Yeah, I mean, technically, that is a 1v3 dribble play. He got 2 to commit in the air, managed to dunk out the last, and it looks like an overtime is in the cards. After all that, after the own goal from Leduc, how do you recover? Well, I guess, you get a counter-attack, a couple of good goals, and you're straight back into it. Uh-oh.
Oh, this is on the list. Now that they checked everything off the bingo list, the overtime, it was time to put that match to bed. And Amphis does so.
I don't even know. What do you say about that game? You just say GG, go next. It was just a mess, They just threw everything up in the air. It landed in random order. And you know what? You're not even going to go back and look at that replay. You got to know that nothing was meant to be with that game. But on the same note, at least Canberra Havoc for them, they got into a position where they got it back to a tie. Maybe some confidence here for game number 3.
Indeed.
Well, as the kickoff is going to be pretty important here, especially, well, Jules isn't on the kickoff, which is seemingly a favour considering how he went on his last kickoff. But for Canberra Havoc, an early start will certainly be important if they can get that early lead. They're certainly a team that can hold on to a lead, though. Amphis looking deadly right at the beginning here, though. The counter-attack is on. Leduc has forced it high here. Should be a pass. No, it's actually just a continuation of that pressure. Amphis uses the time well.
Yeah, and I thought it was trouble there for Ground Zero as well because it drew 2 players. So all that needed was the counter follow-up, and that could have been potential trouble for Ground Zero, but Express has been a good provider. And somehow getting the direction on these balls right now is certainly helping Ground Zero in their cause. But from a Canberra Havoc perspective, they somehow managed to get themselves back into the last match. They're going to try and rebuild from scratch here at the moment. Get themselves... They don't want to be in a position where they have to try and reverse sweep to win the series. Because Ground Zero are just going to find open opportunities like that. You see right then and there, if the pressure starts to get to Canberra Havoc, these opportunities will open up and will continue to open up during the series.
Yeah, and Express doesn't miss those. His striking's always been, one of his strongest suits. So that one would be pretty simple for him. Walcott going for a strange flip reset, we'll just call. At this point in time, things for both Leduc and Walcott haven't been really going their way mechanically. But it's still good to see them trying for those mechanical plays, for those really difficult plays. It was almost Amphis getting the demo. Express will try. Jules takes it to the side. There's a good chance there for Ground Zero after they caused an opening in the midfield. Still more attack coming out for Ground Zero. Jules now has the backboard. Just has to beat 1 and does get the 50 over Leduc. And mechanically not the best showing so far, but Amphis, every single time he's on the ball, he looks so dangerous.
Just that little squirt of boost as well to beat out Walcott, put it into the net. And that is well played from the youngster. Mechanically, he is just having a field day.
Yeah, I think he's the youngest player on the pitch. Yeah, he must be. I think the only one close to his age would be Spidoge. So certainly youngest in terms of experience at this point, having only really just started competing this year. Now it's a chance again for Ground Zero to really run ahead with these games, this series. Now we're going to potentially see 2 sweeps tonight, Jim.
Yeah, look, it makes for a quick night of Rocket League, unfortunately.
One forfeit is also a full sweep, technically, so
yes.
Maybe 3 in a row. Oh, a close opportunity there.
Potential opportunity for a follow-up here as well if that ball doesn't get cleared. It eventually does. But some danger signs here right now because Ground Zero could go on to knock in a couple extra goals and really put some pressure on Game 4 in this series. But for right now, the lead remains 2-0. And I don't know, I feel like this is one of my go-tos in saying that 2-0 is a dangerous lead because it's quite easily overturned with some momentum shifts. But right now, they find that 3rd goal. I feel as though Ground Zero are home and hosed here.
Yeah, I think what's nice about Ground Zero right now is they're still pushing the issue. They're still looking for goals. Still having a bit of fun with it as well. Getting in the way of the likes of Duck as he's trying to make plays. Spydoge, for me, has been the best player in Canberra Havoc in this series. And he's had a couple of good shining moments, but also has looked pretty consistent overall as a player. So Duck and Walcott are going to need to find that extra little bit of boost to take them over the top.
Express. Opportunity there. Spydoge equal to that challenge as now Walcott looks to put that ball away. On the backboard, Amphis is able to just negate his way out of any clear and present danger as Express does a better job of putting that ball away, but somehow Jules is there again. Right place, right time, and it seems as though Canberra Havoc just cannot get that ball in the back of the net. The counter-attack is on, and Express steals that one away from Jules.
They wanted that one so badly, Canberra Havoc, but Express has been an absolute maestro with the demos the last few weeks, finding some demos you'd probably not expect anybody to be able to get, and doing them at interesting times to open up the net too. So that should be it for Canberra, for Ground Zero to take this game and put in a situation where they're one step closer to a full sweep.
Yeah, really wanting to stamp their authority on this match too. They're not letting up. They're still going for it on net. Jules again somehow keeps that ball out, but not for long as Leduc does find the follow-up.
This is a little crazy, you know. It comes off Spydoge, it comes off Jules, and Leduc lands on it. It's a really good recovery to also get that shot on target. So Leduk's still showing he has a few tricks up his sleeves. Even still, with 40 seconds left remaining, there's not really too much time for Canberra Havoc to even get into the overtime again. Kind of look back at game number 2 and think that was the game for them to really take their first win, to garner some momentum through the series. They didn't manage to get that one. And they haven't got this one either. This one will sink in. No, it stays out. It gets saved out on the line finally by Walcott. So no 4th goal as Amphis misreads that wall touch. There's probably a goal here for Canberra Havoc. Actually, Spydoge didn't realise that he had a completely open net. And everyone on Canberra Havoc are just having a bit of fun with that final play.
Yeah, no real chance of taking the series. So we go to game 4 with another potential sweep on the cards here. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen enough from Canberra Havoc in this match to believe that they will reverse sweep, let alone be able to take this next match. So for them, it's going to be a real turnaround required to put themselves in that sort of position. We just haven't seen the opportunities be created, nor have they come their way. And it feels as though right now Ground Zero just have also been creating quite well, but there's also a little bit of luck too to keeping themselves out of some of these situations from conceding. So Canberra Havoc, they're really going to have to turn things around.
I feel like in terms of luck, it's been both good and bad luck for both sides. It's been kind of a little bit chaotic, but that's exactly the game plan of Canberra Havoc. They kind of want to create some chaos. You're going to have some chaos when you have Amphis, especially going for some of the highly mechanical plays as well. So you kind of never know how things are going to go there. And, realistically... Jules? Where's Jules going? Hello? Where?
How many times have you said that line? Where's Jules going?
Plenty enough, because I don't understand sometimes why is it? Why is he not there? Express kind of went off for boost. I'm assuming he expected that Express would be there. He kind of ducked away from the shot, because he was certainly in the line to be able to make the save at the beginning of that play.
Alright, so you know how every commentator has that go-to line, that phrase that they're known for? I feel like yours is, what is Jules doing? Where is Jules going? That's the two.
I also like
Always-
Jules question mark.
Yeah. There's a theme here. It's recurring. Ooh, Walcott calls Jules into action to swat that away, but this is better from Canberra Havoc. So maybe they heard that as that is just pushed into the back of the net by Amphis, but this is a better showing now from Canberra Havoc. They're putting pressure on Ground Zero. They're not affording them the same space that they had in the first 3 games.
Yeah, and you spoke about luck before too. That was pretty fortunate for Canberra Havoc. Not that the play was overall fortunate, but just the fact that that 50 went on target in the top corner and was unsavable. Yeah, you're not going to be happy if you're Ground Zero seeing the bounce go that way. But Canberra Havoc needed a bit of fortune to be able to make a reverse sweep possible. Now we're going to see the counter-attacks coming out. That's a brilliant pass.
Ooh.
That is a huge play from Ground Zero.
And even the cheeky bump in net as well to just deny anything. Walcott, he had no chance of getting anywhere near that. So that is a great play from Ground Zero across the board. All 3 players involved in some way, and that is exactly why they're in this position of 3-0, potentially taking the sweep.
That was an intense set of gameplay, and it was all about reaction times for me there. Every single time they reacted quickly, but still went for the pass instead of the shot. They went for the demo, and for all showing the class of Ground Zero right now. Not a lot of teams would have been able to execute that play. Ooh. Chance goes Ori there for Jules. Both Jules and Amphis really wanted the double. And in the end,
no!
They get it. Spy Doge threatening to try and one-up Leduc's own goal from earlier, and maybe Leduc's own goal from the weekend too. Had probably the best own goal in recent history, Leduc, so got to congratulate him on that. It's a potential chance here for Canberra Havoc, as they've got a bit of a counter-attack. Express actually gets the demo. No, it's Leduc who gets the demo on him. I was a bit shocked to see it may have gone the other way. But for now, they do get the clear. Ground Zero out of defense.
Yeah, so they do sit... Jules couldn't get the connection on that one. They do sit ahead by 1 goal right now. Canberra Havoc is Walcott going to try and make something happen. And this is Ground Zero just being faster to the ball right now as well. That's a nice little touch. Good intention from Amphis, but doesn't actually find his teammate. And it actually releases Leduc, who, as we said, has had an unfortunate turn of luck in the past few games, but we know that he can be quite a quacked out player once he gets going. That is not a good touch though. That puts your team in danger.
He certainly has created some opportunities, but it's been at the cost of a lot of mistakes too for Leduc, so he's going to be looking at working on his consistency, I'm sure, as they look towards the next split too, and the RLO Masters, and they're probably still going to be in the Gauntlet final in that last position as well, because there is the top 5 teams that go into that one. Now Spy Doge, that's a brilliant play, but saved out by Leduc. Please go in. No, Leduc, why?
Oh no, that is not what you want. You could have really put your stamp on this game, but they have denied themselves. They played themselves. Canberra Havoc. Oh my. That could come back to bite them. As Jules runs away with that one.
It's a 2v4, maybe a 1v5 at this point for Canberra Havoc. They're all just playing against themselves. Jules gets a freebie. I thought, like, okay, that touch from Jules as well. The first one against the corner, I was like, oh man, he should have gone for the pass there if they wanted a goal or anything like that. I don't even understand how that spills out in front of net. Now they have another chance here. It's almost on target. Is this about to just go the other way? It is. All of a sudden, where it could have been 3-1 for Canberra Havoc, it's now 3-2 behind.
And Jules just had to backflip it there. Right place, right time. But my goodness, how quickly the winds can change on you. And they go from potentially being in a winning position themselves to being down by a goal.
Oh, it's just so painful to watch. Like, you question, Canberra Havoc. Right? They've got good moments. This is off the kickoff, a very solid play overall with Leduc getting that surprise last touch and the surprise 50 to get that in. But then you have these moments where they just completely fall flat, and you can see why. That the amount of chaos that is happening in a bad way, puts...
Oh no. What is happening?
Okay, well, listen, you just gotta pick yourself up and get past this play. I have no idea. Listen, I've seen some bad series in my times. I've seen some bad games. This, I think, takes the cake. Power rankings time, the worst series of all time ever played. Canberra Havoc versus Ground Zero, the league week 4. Put it in your calendar. Get out your history books. It's this. Game 4 has been a real doozy, of a game in itself.
Hang on.
No, it's not going to happen. He didn't have the boost. He couldn't speed that one up. That's... okay, well, that was something. But Canberra Havoc, they come out ahead, so I'm guessing they're going to be pretty happy.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'd be surprised if they weren't. They got the win, but unfortunately, it means that Ground Zero will be disappointed with having to, again, load into this game because they would have seen themselves as getting away with that one somewhat. I thought maybe the wins had changed for them, potentially, and they let themselves go. They saved their own shot. Canberra Havoc came back to bite them. Jules struck back, but then all of a sudden, things just got out of hand.
Yeah, it hasn't looked good. It hasn't looked good all night. Thank you for the raid, Lethal. We'll see the end of what could be a very interesting series. Another dunk, that time Amphis on Express, to make sure that Ground Zero stay in their own defense. You never know what's going to happen as this series progresses. Leduc now, though, a solo play. The dribble gets it over one. Is it past Amphis? No, saved on the line.
Amphis in the nick of time. I would put that one away, but I don't know, man. I don't know what we're going to expect out of this series. Jules just looking to guide that one away, gets a friendly bump, and now it's all on Express to try and guide them out of trouble. He does so successfully, but need to be careful. Oh. Shot from Leduc.
Where was this earlier? This is a sick shot. It really doesn't get better than that. Just straight off the half volley. Right into that top corner. The defense thinks that maybe Jules can get to it, but it's too quick for him. Canberra Havoc. The reverse sweep, we said it wasn't really possible for them, but if they play like that, maybe it is.
Anything's possible. I'm not ruling anything out of this matchup right now. It's had it all.
That was a really interesting pre-jump as well. Express now has a chance, a mid-air demo from Amphis to open this one up. Can we get to Amphis, Cal? No, we're just going to stay here on Express. That is a very good read on the demo.
That's just, it's basically pre-goal fireworks.
Yeah.
If you want to put it that way.
There's maybe a chance that Express still gets that.
Yeah,
if the defender hadn't reached the ball, but
yeah, the only way that misses is if the the demo clouds the vision of the attacker there. Oh, no. Oh, the counter. It can't go down like that, surely.
It's just these goals. You got the player looking for the demo. He's bumping Jules away from the net and keeping them there, but it's just such an open field in the first place. You're surprised that it's even possible for that to happen.
Not really sure what's happening at the moment. It's just, I don't know. It changes from second to second here, this game. As Amphis. Oh, just the slightest of touches there.
I liked what he's going for. He really looked like he was going for like a smash and right inside of there. No, it stays out. And it stays out again. Oh, I can't believe that wasn't a goal. I also couldn't believe that it was a goal in the first place. So, this series, it keeps on going. This is one for the ages for sure. Express almost goaled that one. It's going to be a high touch instead. Jules keeps that away. That's on target. No, it stays out of the post. There's no goals happening right now. Express and Amphis with the pinch here. It's just okay. Rocket League is just a game of pure luck based. If you were a free-to-play player and you watch this series, you'd just be like, yeah, it's just purely about luck. As that one doesn't go in either, but Jules does manage to secure it. I can't believe that bounced out in the first place.
Also, why does the Season 1 tournament winner title look better than any other title I've seen?
I guess they want people to play tournaments.
Yeah, look, that is the sickest title of any of the titles I've seen. Everything else just looks plain by comparison.
Yeah, they've made it shine. You know, sticking out like a sore thumb, and maybe those sore thumbs have been why this series has gone so crazy too. I don't even understand what's going on, but another miss from Walcott. It's not going to do Canberra Havoc any favours. It's a tied game here. Amphis goes to the pre-flip, but he kind of cut off Express at the same time. Just attempting to do a little too much here, as that's a shot on. It doesn't ring true. It goes off the post as well. More opportunities just subsiding for Canberra Havoc. Should be a chance here, but Leduc stops it with the demo.
Just denies any fast follow-up from Ground Zeroes. Jules gets secondary touch here, but Express not quite the direction he would have wanted on that, as Amphis just bides his time. Wrong button. And I don't know what's going to happen here, because let's just say that this feels very strange in the midfield right now. Neither of these two teams are making anything but mistakes.
Yeah. And there's a mistake right here too, as Jules had Express double commit, and it was for a poor touch come out from Jules. He probably still could have gone for the ball, but kind of just opted to take the boost. That opens up the net. Canberra Havoc getting a freebie, putting themselves in a good position. And at what point in time, you know, do Ground Zero hunker back down? It feels like they've been just having a bit too much fun with it the last couple of games, and not to try to play as seriously as they possibly could. Another dunk on the teammate coming out from Express this time. You have to worry about the danger of this reverse sweep, as it actually starts to look a little bit more likely to happen.
Yeah, look, Jules, though, that is a great pass from Amphis. Decisive in his shot as well. That's going to be what we're needing to see from Ground Zero. We saw it in the first two games, and it seems as though from game 3, things just went into a time warp.
Yeah, it's looking a lot better now, at least, and that's a great 1-2 play. And what I liked about it was very simple. You know, it wasn't attempting to make the huge mechanical play. It wasn't trying to open up the net. It was just as simple as it could get. It was risk-free for the most part, given how much room they had in that midfield. That's what we want to see if we want a more clean series overall.
Well, we're going to get another overtime here, I suspect. Unless Ground Zero can make something happen here right at the death. And look, Jules looks for the follow-up, but overtime it is 3 apiece. And we have Canberra Havoc looking for that reverse sweep. That last game was certainly one for the ages, that's for sure. This game, not as chaotic, but still moments of chaos. As Jules looks to sneak that one in, does not beat Le Duc. Ground zero have probably looked better in the last half of this game than they have in quite a bit of time. As need to be careful though. They're getting caught out. Faster to the ball. Oh dear. Oh dear. It had to go down like that. Caught on the counter attack and Express. That's a great touch from Jules to just open up his teammate.
Yeah, really caught Canberra Havoc off guard. Express was waiting down there from a previous play, so ground zero do end up shutting it out. They've won both the overtimes as well in order to take out the series. They do it as a 4-1, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but still a very good result overall for them, securing themselves another good position in this competition.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it's about, is consistent performances over the course of the league. So for them, they'll be happy with that because if you're going to go back and look at the games, obviously there's probably...
They're not going to look back at that. I can tell you that much.
There's probably a slim chance they'll do that. So as far as they're concerned, in week 4, they got the wins when it mattered.
Yeah, this is obviously, one of the ones that 100% be expecting to win. As they head towards next week, Ground Zero will be in a position where they have to take on Cringe Society. That could be their position to take number 1 seed into the Gauntlet. And again, for those who don't know, the Gauntlet, your seeding is so important. It gets you further along, less matches overall. So if you're first seed, you're guaranteed money because you're in the grand final. But yeah, I want to thank as well everyone who's come out tonight, everyone who's donated to the prize money as well. We've got $500 in the prize pool, which is awesome to see. And thank you to Jim for coming on.
It's always
we're heading into the final week, Jim. So 4 weeks down. How are we feeling so far?
Look, I'm feeling great. I don't know if I speak for the players though, because I'm sure there's a few nerves that are shot out of those last games. So in terms of what we've seen some teams really grow into this league, but we've also seen some, I guess, at this stage, some inconsistent performances as well. They really want to iron out those kinks and try and find their form at the right time. Last week of regulation, so before they go into the Gauntlet, they really want to make sure that they're not making some of those silly mistakes that might cost them if they have to make a big run through the Gauntlet.
Yeah, well, for Canberra Havoc, they're in a position where they have to. I mean, if we actually go back to the standings, they are ahead on games over the top of Fury at the moment. So a major advantage there in terms of being able to get through into that Gauntlet final. But, they actually have to verse Fury in that final one. So actually, it still all goes... It doesn't matter what the game differential is. It just goes down to one single series. Whoever wins in that final week will make it into that final Gauntlet. And you've got Cringe Society versus Ground Zero, which could be a battle for the top, but also with Renegades closely at the heels. They could also potentially take that number 1 position, but in terms of game differential, it kind of looks tough for them. But that is all that we have. We only had 2 series for today. Fury were not able to play today, so we didn't see Renegades either. But we will be seeing them all next Wednesday. Now, tomorrow on this stream, RLO Masters. It looks like right now I will be covering Hazard Esports. I might be able to fire up another team if they get knocked out at some point. Maybe jump into Skyfire and follow them for a while as well. But make sure you're tuned in tomorrow at 7 p.m.-ish. For this as well, for next week, next Wednesday at 7 p.m, the final week of relegation before we head to the finals. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.